Welcome back to the Wedding Buzz. It's your host, Sydney, and today I want to take it back to the basics as we dive into this new year. Happy New Year, everybody. It's the first episode I'm doing in 2024. So let's dive in. So many people are newly engaged. The time between Thanksgiving and New Year's is definitely the most popular time for engagement season. I myself got engaged on Christmas Day. So welcome all of you newly engaged couples to the wedding planning world. It is definitely a journey. So hop in. Let's go on this ride together. I want to walk you through every step of what's to come. So I've talked in the past about getting engaged and the first steps, but I'll touch on it again quickly because I want you to hear me when I say definitely talk about your budget first. It's really uncomfortable. You might have to have like a good old family meeting with mom, dad, whoever is contributing, but sit down, talk about the budget right off the bat. Then I suggest you look for a venue, and then I suggest you look for a planner. And the reason I have it in that order is because you need to know a rough budget before you even look at your venue, because your budget is going to determine your venue. And I don't want you to fall in love with a venue that you really can't afford. And then I also suggest that you find the venue before the planner, just because you typically are going to want your planner to be in the same area as your venue, and maybe a planner that's worked at a venue that you choose before. So if you choose your venue, you can then know exactly where your wedding is going to be and find a planner in the surrounding area. The other thing is, if you book your planner first, you then are going to have to work within their calendar and venues' calendars. And that can get a little tricky because planners and venues often book a year in advance. So I suggest book your venue, find the place that you want your wedding to be, find the date that you want your wedding to be, and then find a planner in the area that is available for that date and maybe has worked at that venue before. So I also want you to talk about the budget from the beginning, because things can really cost more than you think and end up causing trouble down the road. So let's say that you go find a venue that you really like and you just book it and you don't talk about your overall budget. Now, as you're going to book a planner, a DJ, hair and makeup, catering, etc., all these things are possibly going to be way more expensive than you think. And you're going to be in quite a bind if you're already in a contract with a venue that's really expensive. I recently had an inquiry for an engagement party, not a wedding, but an engagement party. And this person, she's really sweet, but she wanted a party for 50 people. She wanted like really nice catered food at a venue. And she thought that realistically, she could do this entire event and hire a planner for under $3,000. And she was in for a rude awakening when she got quotes back from me and from catering and from venues. And she quickly learned that that was not a reality. And I don't blame her, because if you're not in the event world, if you're not a planner, you might not know. So anyway, just really talk about your budget first so that you can kind of try to have realistic expectations. So talked about your budget, you're looking for a venue. Now the whole topic of a planner. What even is a wedding planner? Do you want one? Which package, if you're looking at a wedding planner, should you choose? So let's talk about that. I am a wedding planner. My business is Delightful Planning. If you're in South Florida, I would love to help you. Actually, if you're anywhere, I would love to help you. We can figure out the travel. But let's talk about what wedding planners often offer. And I'm going to base it based off of my packages, but a lot of wedding planners have similar packages. So the cheapest option is usually day of coordinator. And people sometimes get confused, like day of, like, do you just show up the day of? No. We're going to start talking a month before your wedding so I can get to know you and your fiance. Listen to what plans you already have in place, what your goal for the wedding is, what you're envisioning, and help you wrap up these last minute details. Now, a day of coordinator is not going to be emailing vendors back and forth, negotiating prices and whatnot with you. They're not going to be putting the plan together and there with you the whole way. But that last month, they're going to take the plans that you have in place and help you execute it on the day of. I have heard of brides that don't have a planner and they end up in the middle of hair and makeup having to run over to the reception space and set up tables and chairs. Their bridesmaids are in their dresses ready to go and they're setting up tables and chairs and linens, and that is not what you want for your wedding day. So if you don't have a big budget or if you really want to plan the wedding yourself, I still highly, highly recommend at the very least hire a day of coordinator. That's really a month of coordinator. The next package is partial planning. And this is partial. It's in the middle. It's more than the day of coordinator and obviously more than just 1 month prior to your wedding day, but it's not full planning. They're not going to be there through everything. So the partial planner is great for someone who wants some help, but doesn't necessarily need someone to do everything for them. Or maybe someone who really wants help, but can't afford a full planning package. So they can go in the middle and get some help along the way. This is a little tricky because often people who want partial planning start liking having that person to help them find vendors, and it can creep into full planning. So just be aware if you're picking a partial planning package, look to see what's included in that partial planning and make sure you're not expecting that planner to go above and beyond what's in that package, or you might be needing to upgrade to their full service package. Often, for example, a partial planning package will include assistance finding maybe 3 vendors, and you'll have like 3 planning meetings along the wedding planning journey, where the full planning package is every step of the way. A full wedding planning package is going to include finding more along the lines of like 8 or 9 vendors. They're going to be with you at all of your meetings, such as cake tasting, food tasting, walkthroughs with the venue. They're going to be there through everything. That might include more along the lines of like 5 or 6 meetings. Every package is different. And honestly, every wedding calls for a different amount of assistance. But that's kind of the difference between partial planning and full planning. Full planning is really, you want someone to be responsible for every step of the way. You really want help. And that doesn't mean that you're not involved. A full planner doesn't mean that they're making the decisions for you and you're not involved. You're still involved. It's still your day. My book title is Your Day, Your Way. Everything is still your wedding. You're just going to have the assistance and have someone kind of do that, for lack of better terms, the annoying stuff for you, the emailing back and forth with vendors, the scheduling. And the other part about hiring a full planner is planners have done it before, where most likely if it's your first wedding, it's your first time planning a wedding. And so by having a planner there, the entire process, which even a partial planner at least gives you that person to bounce ideas off of the entire time that you're planning your wedding, we've been through it. So we're going to think about things that you're not going to think about. I was just at a venue tour a couple weeks ago with a bride, and I brought my list of questions, and it was just funny seeing her face. Like every time I asked the venue these certain questions, she was just like, I never would have thought about that. Like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And I was just chuckling to myself because I'm like, well, of course not. Like it's your first wedding, where I've been through it, and planners know what to ask to avoid situations that we probably have unfortunately been through before. And so that's a benefit of hiring at least a partial planner or the full planner, is that you have that professional help along the way who can help you and guide you either into things or avoid things that you might not even know you should be doing or you should be avoiding. So with that said, I would love to help you plan your wedding day, whether you just need someone as a coordinator or if you want that right-hand person during the entire wedding planning season. I would be happy to be that person for you. I don't know if you guys follow Jennifer Hamilton on TikTok, but stick with me for a second. I'm going to go sidetracked. She is a labor and delivery nurse. And I saw something that she said that I really liked. And she was like, it's okay if a mom giving birth for the first time. Like, it's okay if you're nervous, or it's okay if you're stressed, because I'm not. And what she's saying is like, if her patient is giving birth for the first time, of course they're nervous. But she was like, it's okay that you're nervous because I'm not, because she's a professional and she's been through it before. And I was like, that's kind of how I feel towards my brides. Like, it's okay if you feel a little lost, or if you're like, I don't know where to start. Like, it's okay, because I know where to start. Like, I know where to guide you. And that's really the benefit of hiring a wedding planner, is that you're hiring someone who's been through it before, who you can trust, and who can really walk you through the whole process and help you not feel nervous and help you not feel stressed or lost, because they're going to guide you and hold your hand through the whole process. So with that said, congratulations if you are newly engaged. Welcome to the wedding planning world. Like I said, it's a journey, but hop on. I'd love to bring you along with me. And if you are looking for wedding planning assistance, my company is Delightful Planning. You can go to delightfulplanning.com, or you can email me at sydney@delightfulplanning.com, and I would love to help you. So with that said, I hope you guys have a great new year, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.